Hello. Loading the line. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Pharmacy Seeds Network live stream. Every Tuesday night, we do the Hudson Valley Farmers and Gardeners Net at 9:30 p.m. on the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Repeater. So for anyone who's new coming in, that is not a CB, it is an amateur radio. Similar in fashion, but much more capable, and it requires a license. That said, hopefully we'll get some check-ins. This time of year, a lot of times people are on vacation, and we have quiet nights sometimes. So anyway, I usually talk to the live streamers a little more once I get done with the radio part of the net, which is about the first half hour. Hello, Monkey Man, Was D123, Waza. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with the net. This is KD2 Net Control for the Hudson Valley Farmers and Gardeners Net. The Hudson Valley Farmers and Gardeners Net is a radio net sponsored by the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. here on the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Repeater, and we talk about farming, gardening, and related topics. That said, we'll go ahead and get on with it. If there are any check-ins, please call now. Oh no. Geeky Gardens, what's going on? Alright, no worries. Hey, as long as you can last, appreciate you checking in. Looks like it might be a quiet radio net tonight. That would make for a short night. Or maybe not.
Here's KTVHM.
The net organizes Jim, K2VHM. How are you tonight, Jim?
I'm doing good. Nothing much happening here.
Good, good. Very good, very good. Well, not much is good news, right?
Yeah, we're getting ready to go on a vacation. We're kind of winding down.
You waiting for that hurricane to roll through before you go?
And already passed through where we're headed. They got some pretty good rainstorms, a little bit of local flooding on some roads, and other than that, nothing major, so they lucked out.
Glad to hear it, glad to hear it. I know you were talking about devastation last time.
Oh yeah, what happened to the Bahamas happened to St. Martin 2 years ago.
Sorry, it was 2 years
this
ago.
Saturday.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was around this time. Yeah, it was 2017, wasn't it? Yeah, that was some mess, huh?
Yeah, well, St. Martin was lucky. It was 180 mile-an-hour winds with 200-something gusts, and it took 12 hours to go from one side of the island to the other. It didn't sit over one spot for 2 days.
Ouch.
Yeah, I feel sorry for those people. They got hammered for 2 freaking days. Whoa. Talk about PTSD.
Yeah, that's, yeah, you expect a storm like that to kind of blow through and be gone, but yeah, I'm sure by 12 hours in they were like, okay, you can go away now. And at the end of 2 days, boy, you'd be exhausted and sick of that.
Yeah, after an hour you say, I'm whipped. Please go away. But
Yeah.
48 hours, that's intense.
That's a hammering. Yeah, and there's not too many good places to hide down there either.
Not really. Some of the more recent places were built to hurricane standards, but they were built to like a Category 4 standard, and maybe they'll survive 5, or maybe they won't. But a lot of the people's houses and so forth weren't built to withstand that, and their history. They're wiped, and they got to start over. But in St. Martin, the people had a good attitude, and everybody was coming there to help them out, and they survived, and they made it through it, and they're stronger.
Oh yeah, the old adage sticks. That which does not kill us makes us stronger, for sure, and certainly more prepared for future events.
Yeah, definitely, and it brings out the good side of people. People come there just
That's
to
true
help
too.
out, do what they can do, and whatever, and not looking for anything, and they just want to help where they can.
Yep, yep. It's nice to see the good side of humankind come out in those situations. Well, let's see if there's any further check-ins here. This is KD2 Net Control for the Hudson Valley Farmers and Gardeners Net. If there are any further check-ins, please call now. Oh boy, I think you're on the end of the range. I did catch LD in there. I got just enough to get the call and I recognize the voice. Hi Bob, and we'll give you a chance to spit back at us here. Pick it up.
Yeah, I'm at the end of the range, so just put me in and I just want to say hi.
Very good, very good. Sorry we missed you. I should have put a break in there quicker. Hope you have a safe rest of your trip home, and thanks for checking in. Hope all is well with your gardens, and I hope the frost stays off for a while. We'll talk to you later on. Alright, looks like he's out of range. Are there any further check-ins?
Just saying hi to Bob in case he's still listening. Hey Jim, but I don't know if I can get back to you. It's I'm kind of far away here. No, you made that one. Just wanted to say hi and pass along. Back to CJ.
This is KD2 Net Control for the Hudson Valley Farmers and Gardeners Net. If there are any further check-ins, please call now. And yes, Bob, that was surprisingly solid. No further check-ins recognized at this time. Alrighty, back to you, Jim.
Yeah, basically we're flying out shortly, and hopefully we're going to miss any disruptions from air traffic travel and whatever, and have a smooth flight. It should be fine on both ends because we're going out of JFK and going down to St. Martin. It's a direct flight, but hopefully we don't have complications from other flights being diverted or backed up or canceled or whatever.
Yep, gotcha. Well, one very important question. Did you save some space in your suitcase?
What was that again?
Did you save some space in your suitcase?
You know, you're about the 10th person to ask that question.
Well, you know, I'm not a really big guy. I mean, I can pack myself into a pretty small space, and the sun is starting to fade here. I could use a little bit more sun before we lose the season to cold and snow.
If I knew that a little bit sooner, my sister-in-law already claimed the sofa bed, the pull-out bed in the living room.
Thank you. Yeah, I really don't have time to get away like that, but I am envious of access to warm weather and sun and beaches, for sure.
Well, the resort is, this particular time, it's
Hey, HTHW,
a slow
what's up?
season. A lot of the places are taking vacation. So they did owner appreciation to draw us in. And a bunch of us party animals got in there and turned it into the most popular period for this resort. So it's going to be a party animal type scenario.
That sounds like it has a lot of fun potential.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. Like I say, a lot of places are closed, so they're doing a lot of private parties, costume parties,
Washing away,
with contests and so forth, beach bashes, parades. They're doing all kinds of over-the-top stuff that's not normal, just for us owners to get us there and keep the place full. And we turned it into a real high-spirited time.
Oh, you're killing me, Jim. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Been doing it for over a decade.
I know. Well, my life is not such that I can take off in September and go to the beach. I wish it was. Maybe in the future I'll look at engineering it a little differently.
Yeah, well, that was one of the conflicts. Is last year we grew tomatoes and found out that they really hit their peak about the time that we had to leave and let them fend for themselves.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Used to go away for a couple of days once in a while up to Lake George or something like that. But even that was hard to do this time of year. There's just so much to keep track of, and then there's harvest to keep track of, and all sorts of stuff. So it's just not practical to be away for any period of time. But I don't know. We'll see. I like this bee thing a lot, and there's certainly more profit potential in it. I think I'm going to lean harder in that direction. But we'll see. We'll see how it all evolves.
Yeah, K2BHM with K2IIN.
Glad it's gone.
Yeah, definitely. And we go again in the spring, like May or so forth and so on, and that's when you're starting to plant. So
right.
It didn't work for us.
Yep. I'm over here going, right? Yep. Exactly. And then mid-season, you're feeding and weeding and irrigating, and it's a pretty going to be there pretty consistently. It all could be automated and remoted, but it's expensive and time-consuming to set that up for the entire operation, and there are still manual things to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, the best times for you was like November, December, January, February, and that's high season down there. The prices are through the roof, and you can't move. You would have to make reservations now to go to dinner in January.
Yeah, and that's the time when I really crave the sun and the warmth is then. So, but then there's the greenhouse to take care of. Although I'm steadily working my way toward making that a little more independent. But yeah, that's when I'd really want to be down there. I'd love to take a break in January and just spend January somewhere warm. But like you say, it's pricey then because everybody else thinks the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. But you'd be amazed what you can do with Raspberry Pis to do some automation and stuff.
Well, as you're well aware, Jim, I wouldn't know a thing about that. This is KD2IIN Net Control for the Hudson Valley Farmers and Gardeners Net. If there are any further check-ins, please call now. No further check-ins. Back to you, Jim.
Yeah, okay. Feel kind of bad because possibly my friend
Thursday,
Ron
you
and
guys
his daughter are listening to catch up on some interesting tidbits about farming and gardening. they're not amateurs, but I repurposed one of my old bow phones so that they could listen, and they're very possibly listening and hearing us just shoot the phone.
Got you. Okay, okay.
But at least we can say hi and acknowledge them. Hopefully they're listening and know that they got the right spot.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was hoping KD2 RFI would make it in tonight. We would have some more good B discussion, but I know he's super busy, just like I am this time of year, and I think he got called back to extra duty on his regular work, in addition to having to extract honey and do bee stuff and take care of chickens and a million other things. So hopefully maybe next week we'll hear from him. But yeah, usually we have some excellent bee discussion. They could always go back and listen to some of the previous episodes. There were some pretty good discussions there on that sort of thing.
Yeah, on the surmise that they might be listening, why don't you go over the details of where you are on YouTube and where to find some other pertinent information, just for people that might be listening that don't have an amateur license.
All right, well that sounds good. We're currently live streaming here on Pharmacy C's Network YouTube channel. That's pharmacy as in Pharmacy, as in let food be thy medicine kind of concept. We stream that every Tuesday night. There's also more information on my YouTube channel all along the lines of healthy plants and building soils and all that sort of stuff. And so I guess that covers it all. Yeah, I don't know. How's that, Jim? KD2I.
Yeah, sounds good. Maybe we should put something like that. Is it on the website somewhere that
I don't know.
people can go to and see what's going on?
I'm not sure. My understanding is they're reworking the website soon, so I don't know if it made it onto what is current. Honestly, I haven't really checked in on that in a while. Don't know. I doubt it.
Yeah, if it's there, it isn't obvious. So maybe that should be something that should be more obvious on the website when it comes around.
I would have to agree with that. I think all our net information should be a little more obvious and, more importantly, should be updated to reflect current. I have no idea what our stuff is, but I know the last time I looked at the site, some of the net stuff was outdated. So I don't know. I think the Sunday net was still on there, which, as far as I know, is no longer. Is that correct?
Yeah, a while back it was going, and then it stopped, and I ran it a few times with another fellow. We would alternate, and then it got to the point of where nobody was checking in, so it just kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah, the net can get pretty lonely if nobody shows up to check into it.
Yeah, exactly. So even though we're not talking about farming and gardening, at least we're making contact and keeping the thing up and running, so if somebody does tune in and has some information or some questions or whatever, they have something here that they're hearing that we're actually alive and ticking.
Yep, it's a bootable hard drive.
Yeah, touche. So, yeah, and I'm leaving a little pause in between in case somebody wants to break in.
I guess we'll do one last opportunity for check-ins while we're at it. This is KD2 IIN Net Control for the Hudson Valley Farmers and Gardeners Net. If there are any further check-ins, please call now. I think everybody's away on vacation and getting ready for school and the other 10 zillion things that happen this time of year.
Yeah, probably. And it was a long holiday weekend and so forth, and people are probably still settling down and getting back into their routine and stuff like that. So, but anyhow, at least we got a chance to chew the fat.
For sure, for sure. I always appreciate your company, and always interesting hearing about the islands. I never been to the islands. The closest I've been to anything tropical is southern Florida, which was interesting, but it's awfully flat, and the time of year and the place I was fairly boring. There was no beach activity or anything going on. So yeah.
Well, it's interesting because my wife is a beach person and I'm not. But I go to the beach and invariably I ran into a couple of guys on the beach and wound up spending 3 hours in the water talking about raspberry pie.
Yeah. Oh, I can't imagine that would happen to you, Jim. Yeah, let's see. I am a beach person and I'm not a beach person. I like the ocean. I like the ocean water. I do like to get into it a little bit, not a tremendous amount. I very much like the sun, and being in the sun all day. I don't so much like the sand. It's kind of a nuisance. I would almost rather be on a non-sandy area by the ocean. But yeah, that's my preference, I suppose.
Well, we had some beautiful sandy beaches there, and it's, you never know what you're going to run into.
Wow.
There's all kinds of people there.
Evacuations.
She winding up with people, talking to people that came from Long Island, and I wind up talking to people that came from upstate, and somebody's interested in computers, somebody else is interested in brewing beer,
yep.
Somebody else does wine, somebody else does this, that, and there's one of my friends is head of the maintenance people for the sheriff's helicopter section down in Arizona. You never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah, that's how it always is when I go away. I could go to Maryland and run into somebody that I know from Red Hook. It's like, yeah, same kind of thing. Same thing with, like, when I used to go to Lake George, I'd run into people I haven't seen in 10 years that, that used to be 2 miles from me all my life, and I've known all my life, and I haven't seen them for 10 years, and then I run into them up there. And same kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't go to the beach to splash in the water. I go there to see who I'm going to meet and what we have in common interest. And usually you're pretty much surprised who you find that you can make a connection with.
Yep. Well, of course, being on the beach and all that fun and the lubrication of alcohol does help facilitate that.
Yeah, lots of places you buy a bucket of beers and they include a beach umbrella and 2 beach chairs with it. So that works. Thanks for a nice afternoon. K2IIN, K2BHM for ID, and we'll leave a break for anybody wanting to check in.
For sure, as long as you can get a bucket of water on the way back in from the beach. This is K22IIN, Net Control for the Hudson Valley Farmers and Gardeners Net. This is last call for check-ins. Any further check-ins, please call now. No further check-ins recognized at this time. Back to you, Jim.
Yeah, it's speak now or for hold your peace.
Hey, Robin.
Anyhow.
What's up? How we doing?
No, it's been an interesting chat tonight, and we didn't touch much on farming and gardening, but we did have some interesting topics we touched on.
For sure, for sure. I know you don't have a lot of gardening and farming experience, so it'd be kind of hard to like force that conversation alive. Either way, I enjoyed talking about the islands and hearing about that sort of stuff. And of course, we did get a little taste of raspberry pie on the way through. We couldn't avoid that, which is always good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into that in the next month or two. And so that'll be a topic of discussion again soon too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they made quite a debut back. God, I guess it's like about 8 years ago, 9 years ago now. I was still working at SUNY, and we were doing some stuff with the pontoon boats, monitoring water and solar and air conditions. The Raspberry Pi came out, and it looked like it was going to be a good solution to doing some data logging.
For sure. For sure, for sure. And boy, has it ever, and boy, has it ever evolved. Speaking of that, before we close this night out real quick, have you picked up the Pi 4 yet, or played with that at all yet? KD2I.
K2VHF Friday. I haven't done a 4 yet. I've been playing with the 3B pluses, and they're sweet. But from what I'm doing, I don't really need the extra horsepower as before. But when winter comes around and we're starting to do more indoor things, I'll pick up one or two and play with them and see what the difference is.
Yeah, I want to play with one too, and I was debating, and I still haven't gone back and looked into it, but I was debating whether or not I was going to just get a Pi 4 and go for the full deal as a replacement for the one the 3B that got zapped over the summer from lightning. But I'm afraid there's going to be another architecture changeover there, and in order to just get things up and running, I think I'm going to go with the 3B and then do a 4 after they've had a chance to settle in and work out a few quirks.
The problem I have is that my webcams have two radio-controlled servos on them for pan and tilt. And there's a program called Servo Blaster that puts up some arrows on a web page and lets you go and control them. And that was working fine with the Raspberry Pi 2B pluses, and the software wasn't updated when the 3s came out, so that doesn't work anymore. So if I want to use that situation, I have to go back to a 2 and put Raspbian Jessie in, because it won't work with the newer versions.
Yeah, no, I know. I remember you telling me about that. Now, have you gone back, since it's been a while since the 3B Plus, or the 3B came out, have you gone back and looked to see if anyone's come up with a solve for that recently? And also another thought is maybe you should collaborate with Aaron, because he probably could figure out a way, to get around that.
I lost most of that. The deviation was way down in the mud.
Okay. Alrighty, is this okay?
It's still very low.
Pardon my French. How about now?
A little better, but you were a lot better before. And Dave was talking earlier about getting together with you with my
I know.
quick service monitor and see if we can pick things up and bring it up where it belongs. Anything new on that front?
I really just don't have the time for that right now. Let me see if I speak up straight into the mic. Is this better?
Yeah, that's much better. Before I was having to put the speaker right up to my ear and couldn't really discern what was being said.
Yep, okay. So now you should be able to hear me. I apologize. So my thought was, have you gone back recently and looked to see if there's any new modules or any corrections or fixes or updates for that issue? One, because it's been, what, a year or a little more now since the 3B has been out, and I imagine someone else on the planet has had that problem and at least discussed it in a forum somewhere. And then failing that, you might try collaborating with Aaron and see if he could come up with a solution for it. He's pretty good with that, the code side of things.
I looked about 6 months ago and there was no updates.
Sorry, guys.
You could go and do some workarounds and make it work.
Well, it wasn't
but
actually
you couldn't
French.
really control things nicely. The servo blaster worked good because you could put limits in and control steps and stuff like that and so forth. And without that, it was very crude. And I haven't seen anything. I think the guy that did that is off to other things now and not interested.
Gotcha. Yeah, that can be the downside of the open source. Well, I guess you're stuck to a 2B for camera function, but I mean, I don't know what else you do with it. I guess that's most of what you do with them, isn't it?
No, that's the only thing I do with them that has that problem. Because I've got lots of other ones going on. I've got
It was slang.
I've got an Hallmark server up so that people can know and dump stuff on there.
I know, homesteading, right? Sorry,
Pass it
Chris.
on to other people. I've got a multimedia server. I've got a temperature monitor
You
system.
shut it right off.
I've got a Nextcloud, which is something set up to back up stuff on your iPhone. And the only thing that's
I always forget I'm on the
affected
air
is,
here too.
the servos on the webcams.
I'm used to when I unkey on there, I'm not on the air anymore, and I can elaborate. Gotcha. So yeah, so that's the majority of your use. So well, I don't know. I would keep checking back occasionally and see if there's any fixes out. Someone else has got to be frustrated with that and come up with a fix for it eventually, I would think. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, in the meantime, the cameras that have the servos on them, they're still working with the 2Bs, so I'm
Send
good
the
there.
kids to bed.
And
Carlton can't handle
if
his
something
own
comes
mouth.
up that patches through to the 3Bs with stretch or whatever, I'll be good to go.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close the net out here, Jim. I'm going to go do the other half of the live stream here, and then I got foliar feeds I got to go finish tonight. So I got a few things ahead of me still. But thanks for coming into the net. Always appreciate the conversation. Looking forward to more Pi conversation in the future. And I hope someone comes out with a modular update to fix that for you. Thanks again for the support. I'll put it back to you for a final comment.
Yeah, okay. Always happy to talk Pi. And enjoy the conversation tonight. Thanks. And I'll let you continue on and get some things done. K2YIN, K2BHM.
All right, the 7-3s, Jim. Hope you have a good evening. K2BHM, K2IN. We'll talk to you soon. And you have an invite in the chat here from one of the users, Geeky Gardens, on the live stream. He wants to talk tech with you. So if you're up for talking tech, there's somebody open to talking tech. All right, very good. This is KD2IIN, net control for the Hudson Valley Farmers and Gardeners Net. The Hudson Valley Farmers and Gardeners Net is an amateur radio net sponsored by the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club located in Ulster County, New York. Please visit our website for more information at www.omarkclub.org. That's whiskey.Oscar Mike Alpha Romeo Charlie Lima Uniform Bravo.Oscar Romeo Golf. Let's see, this net is sponsored, well, I already said that, it's run every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. I think I'm having power problems. The radio. Okay. Anyway, so that is all. Thanks to all those who participated, specifically Jim, K2BHM, and Bob, K2LD, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week. The net is officially closed, and this repeater is back under regular amateur use. KD2IIN is clear. Oof. A mouthful. An even bigger mouthful than Carlton.
Have a good evening,
F-bomb.
K2 BHM will be clear.
11:30s. Got me flustered. The pet moth. I don't know. He's hiding out tonight. He was feeling camera shy. Oh, he went down to visit you. It figures he'd run south for Florida when it gets cool out, huh? I told him about those hurricanes, though. He didn't believe me. I told him he'd get swept out to sea. So what's going on, all my peeps? He might show up. He might show up. I don't have the window open this far tonight, so maybe he didn't come in for a visit. Bad time to go. Bad time to go to Florida, yeah. I was trying to tell him that. But you know how those moths are. You know how they are. Don't want to listen. How you doing, Robin? Any better? You hanging in? Well, not if you're a moth. If you're a moth, you got your own wings built in. It's just a long flight. Hanging in. Hanging in's good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Things are pretty good. You know, never totally where you want to be, but you got to be happy where you're at too. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy where things are going. Just got to stay dedicated and disciplined. Not always easy, but you know. Hurricane party time. Are you getting out to margaritas, Geeky? It is a long way for a moth to fly, but when you think about it, monarchs fly 1,500 miles or more. If a monarch butterfly can do it, a moth could do it if he wanted to. He'd have to really want to. That blows my mind that a butterfly can fly the distances that they do. Can you imagine being a butterfly, being that light, and like being that susceptible to the wind, and to be able to fly that far, and to do that every year? It's crazy. It's crazy, dog. Stalled. Oh, if it hadn't stalled down south. Oh. Wow. People go crazy for the ice cream in a hurricane, huh? I mean, I get it. If you think you might die, you'll lay back and load up. Yeah, can you imagine how tired you would be? I don't know, I think the storm is moving off the coast, isn't it, Geeky? I guess I should take a look at Venture Sky here quick and see what the flow is. Guys familiar with Venture Sky? If you're not, I'll drop a link in the live strizzle for Rizzle. Yeah, that's a good point, Monkey. It is more like they kind of float on it rather than get torn up by it. If you're light enough, you can float on anything, right? Well, let me zoom out here and have a look. Oh yeah, you guys got it pretty good. Dorian, is that the name? I don't know, I don't really watch the news. Yeah, she's She's pretty hardcore spinning off the coast of Palm Bay there. We're looking at, let me get wind speeds. I'll get wind speed. At 10 meters above the ground, she's turning 86 miles an hour. 91 actually, right just outside edge of the eye. It's 91. And then by the time you get out to Palm Bay, it's down to about 40 miles an hour. Good. Glad it keeps moving that way. Glad to hear it. Don't want to see you guys get wiped out again. That's just like, ugh. It's not really cool, man. Nah, I mean, it's not really cool, man. My dirt towel here is getting all shaken up. Gotta have a dirt towel when you work on the farm. Every time you come in to log, you're sitting down with dirt on you. Catastrophic damage in some places, really. I guess it must have hit shore, huh? Down in the southern part of the state. I haven't really been following. Like I said, I don't watch the news or any of that. .30 Eastern. Yeah, you might still lose power, but at least it's headed in a positive direction, I guess we'll say, right? Yeah, the flooding is always the hard part, Chris. Power out is doable. Not always fun, but doable. But when you get that with the flooding, that's when things get messy. And you guys are in relatively flat terrain there, right? Like here, we're in the Hudson Valley, but there's a lot of slopes here still, so we have good drainage. Like, it's hard to flood out a whole area. Valleys in certain areas could get flooded, but you won't get, like where I'm at on a hill, we won't get flooded out. I mean, unless there's a tsunami that comes up the Hudson or something, that's possible, but regular hurricane, the worst we would get would be, heavy rain. There'd be flooding in the low-lying areas, but where we're at would be alright. But the winds are always the ones that scare me, because we have all these huge trees that always come down. We always lose trees in these big storms. And they're always over our heads in power lines. The Bahamas are gone? Oh, great. Category 5 for 12 hours. Good Lord. Stalled out with 185 winds. Holy crap. A sand hill in the river bottoms. It's better than being right in the river bottoms, but yeah, that's not a great place to be. Jesus, 185. Whoa. 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 That's insane and devastating. Yeah, river bottom, that doesn't sound good. And sand is not a great thing to be on. Build your house upon the rock, right? I mean, you gotta build where you can get land or afford land, but ideally on the rock. Here we're on a giant clay brick and then rock. Second most powerful Atlantic in history. Wow. Makes an island, yeah, I would imagine. Do you keep a boat handy for those situations, Chris? Yeah, that is the closest thing, huh, Geeky? Gotta get up on that reef, you gotta build the big pile of reef up and then build on that. You don't have rocks at all? Yeah, in a way, be glad you don't have rocks, Chris. It's nice to have a rock to build on, but man, it ain't fun to till or plow or disc or cultivate or grow on. Limestone is nice to grow on if you know how to unlock that. That's a massive calcium store. That's mega calc. Rode your horse to work. There you go. Nice. Very nice. See, that's a real man right there, folks. Flooded, can't get the car out, can't get the truck out, can't get the tractor out. No worries, get on the horse, still going to work. Paul Revere would be proud, Chris. Yeah. Yeah, I've ridden through, I've ridden through at least 4 and 5 feet of water on a mountain bike, but that was clear water. If you can't see where you're going from a hurricane, that's different. You're going to hit something and go for a swim, I guess. Oh yeah, me and my cough. Don't worry too much, Robin. I'll be right. Looking to get work in nature. Didn't have a choice. Only thing would make it across the bridge. Fair enough. Work in nature. Well, I guess how physically fit are you would be the first question. Because if you're physically fit, surveying will get you out in the woods. Or anything in environmental conservation, ecology, tree service, forestry, that kind of stuff is all out in the woods. Lumberjack, yeah, that's a tough job though, boy. You got to be seriously physically fit for that. I mean, you're out there hauling it, huffing it all day in the woods. That's a no-joke job. Mostly whelp on your bones. I don't understand. Like they're strong, I can carry stuff, but mostly whelp on my bones. I don't understand the part on the bones, but if your leg is strong, you can carry stuff. A surveyor would be a good one. You go work with a survey crew. That'll get you out in the woods. That's an interesting job too. Start sweating at 50 pounds. Okay, well, survey crew. Well, most survey crews, you're splitting the load. If you end up surveying by yourself, like I was, you're going to be carrying about 80 to 100 pounds. But if you're in a split crew, your max would probably be 25, 30 pounds. Like you'd be carrying a tripod with a reflector, or you'd be carrying the staff. Sweet potatoes, there you go. That's carrying bags of rocks. Yeah, the tripods and that kind of stuff can go over your shoulder, so that's not a bit. It's not like you have to hang on to it to carry it. You just got to balance it basically. But you got to be good on your feet in the woods and over rough terrain and over like cut off stobs that'll be sticking up, say thigh high. You don't want to walk into one of those because that'll put a hole in your leg like somebody shot you. A game warden. Yeah, that sounds like a cushy job to me. I don't know if it actually is, but it sounds cushy. I'm sure there's times it's not fun, but But most of the time, what? You're out in the woods making sure people are hunting correctly, right? Or investigating scenes, I'm sure. Well, that's the other thing, Monkey Man. I guess it depends on how much schooling you want to do, too. Oregon, yeah. Chris is in North Carolina. June, that's when you guys put him in. That's what I put him in too, Chris. Late June, actually, I think. Yeah, police officer training. But once you're a police officer, you can carry a pistol on any U.S. domestic flight anytime. So there's a bonus there. If, you know, if you want to carry a pistol. If you don't, I guess it's not a bonus. Yeah, that's a long hike or bike ride from Oregon to North Carolina. Same level as troopers, okay. So that's more extensive police training than like a local town police officer would have. At least if your troopers are like our troopers. Our troopers go to a pretty high level academy. Hey Robin, when they're done, that's when you harvest. Give them time, you can let the vine die back if you want. Chris will probably know better, but I think the longer you let them go, the bigger they get until your season ends, basically. Provided they have good, moisture, nutrition, sunlight, etc. Yeah, Monkey Man, I think avoiding college is probably a good idea, because more than anything, you're just avoiding $150,000 in debt that won't get you a job any better than you could get by training on the job. So I think that's a smart choice. 180 days, yeah, we're running 90 and 100-day stuff here at BP. Yeah, I would say go for technical school training. Surveying's a good one. You could actually get licensed in surveying after 5 or 8 years apprenticeship, and then surveyors make really good money. Later on, you could take that and go get an engineering degree and become a civil engineer if you want. Those guys, the guy I used to work for was charging $150 an hour for my time in the field and for his. So that's ridiculous money. But getting your civil engineering degree, I think, is a 6-year gig. But you could be surveying all along and making contacts for that type of business and making good money, and in a job that's probably not going to dry up too much, because there aren't a tremendous amount of surveyors. Although it does fluctuate with the real estate market, there is potential to be laid off there. I was laid off in 2009 when we had that big real estate crash. Yeah, I leave mine till October too, homesteading. I let them ride. I want as much potato mass as I can harvest. Steam restoration folks and the sea farming folk. Oh, those would be interesting jobs. Yeah, let them poke out, that's alright. Looking forward to seeing your tomatoes in the winter, Geeky. I hope you'll give us some shots of tomatoes when we can't grow any here. Yeah. When do you harvest? Whenever I can get around to it. Right, Chris? That's right, right down the road around the corner from Get Around to It. Do what now? Yeah, I dig them when I get a chance to dig them, usually as late as possible before, before the ground starts to freeze for sure. But other than that, doesn't really matter. Yeah, Monkey Man, I would get the job first. It's a lot harder than you think. Those bills come in awfully fast, and they get bigger and bigger every month. I would get a job rolling while you have some help. It's hard to, believe me, it's really hard to keep the bills paid. Chris will tell you. Sounds good, Chris. I'll be looking forward to your round to it. Six Amish paste and 10 beefsteaks. I should send you some of these San Marzano Romas seeds. That would be cool. Yeah, Geeky said get the, yeah, lack of money sucks. Yeah. Yeah, believe me. Take it from somebody who's made their choices more on passion than finance, and I'm fortunate that I have some really good friends who've really helped me out a tremendous amount, or I would be on the street in a cardboard box probably. So yeah, get the job while you can. $7K a year was the goal for expenses. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's goes more with your area. Like around here, $7 grand a year wouldn't pay the rent. It literally wouldn't pay the rent. You're looking at 12 grand a year here. That's for a 1-bedroom small apartment. But depending on your living situation, you could definitely be smaller, and depending on the area you're in. This is New York. I mean, we're 90 miles from New York City. Everything is through the roof here. Like, everything is crazy expensive. Land is crazy expensive. Anything you want to do costs you a fortune. 7K a month, you're broke, right? Yeah, I'm just saying, aim a little higher, because you'd be surprised how fast that money can just out of your bank. 7K a month, good Lord, Chris. I wish I had 7K a month, but I know it's just flipping over, right? And back in, and there's no traction. I know. I don't know, Geeky, but I'm going to say yes. Just so you guys will get your dose of moth. There's a little bug that just flew by the camera. But actually, I think it was the moth, because I think I see him. Yeah. Yeah, there he is. Hey, buddy. You going to come up and say hi? Hey. Come say hi to the camera. Over here. Over here. Do you want some extra light? You want two? See if I give him a little light. We can come over. Yeah, like same here. Yeah, Chris. Like if I made 50 grand a year, that would be a good start to pay the bills. Really. I gotta figure at least 12 grand a year in a place to rent. Then you got the power bill, you got car insurance, gas, repairs, maintenance, food. Like that adds up. Before you know it, it's easily 2 grand a month. Like nothing. Like nothing. Yeah, no, I figured, Chris. I figured that's a gross, but still. If you're doing really good, you might net 3,500 out of that. But you know. But then the tax man come along and he wants some of that, and then the next tax man come along when you go to spend it and he wants some of that, and then the next tax man come along when you go to spend that and he wants some of that. Just saying. Yeah, he did make an appearance, Robin. He wouldn't come when I called him. Darn disobedient moth. See if I feed him tonight. Put him out in the moth coop. Let him howl all night. Yeah, and you know, for reference, I make way less than that. Yeah, I haven't made a dime on anything farming related yet this year, Chris, either. And so little so that I'm actually going to re-gear my farming operations and go more toward bees and try and do some other stuff to fill in. But you know, I do still have crops out that are doing well. So hopefully, if all goes well, maybe I can break even or even make a little money. Oh, that's a good point, Geeky. I wouldn't trust me either. I haven't seen my friend go to the spider. That reminds me, there's a yellow garden spider that I've had out by my truck that I've seen a couple times in the daytime. I've been meaning to grab the camera, but I keep forgetting, and there's so much other stuff going on. I haven't caught him. I wonder if he's still out there. Yeah, Chris, me too. I might have to change up and start doing something else for income, and then just do a garden farming thing for fun when some other income can provide the finance to make that possible. Yeah, way less. But at the same time, I'm not turning over that much overhead either. Like, it doesn't matter if you're turning $7,000 a month through and you're not keeping any of that. It's just more checks to write and money to collect, and it just goes through your hands, so it doesn't feel any better. At least that's what I'm guessing. I've never actually been there, but yeah, no, don't chance the farm for sure. For sure. They're trying to take all our real estate over time. Hang on to it. Anyway, guys, it's about 10:30, and I have a few more foliar feeds I have to get done tonight, and a few other things to do. So I think I'm going to go ahead and close the stream out here shortly. But thank you, everyone, for coming in. I always appreciate your company and our good conversations. And sorry the first part of the net wasn't more exciting tonight. But, you know, that's how it goes. That's part of running a radio net. Oh, just bring the deed, yeah. Yeah. Want to gamble your house? Want to gamble your land? Just let us have that deed. Oh, sure, we'll give you anything you want. Cloak and dagger. I don't trust banks as far as I can throw them. How's that for an ending note? That's advice you can take to the bank. Don't trust the bank as far as you can throw them. Good night, everybody. 7-3s, as we say on the radio. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network live stream. We'll see you all next week.